wanted to know. Thank you, boss.
That means that everyone just heard that.
Awesome.
Good morning, everyone.
Good. Well, she might not have had us in the feed. Oh, yeah, the feed, yeah. All right, good. Oh, yes.
Keep forgetting how to do this.
All right, your thumbs to the sky, and gently put your thumbs to your left. Not my left, no, to your left. Both thumbs, the same direction. Yes! Now relax your hands. And your hands. Now we know where our thumbs are. Hopefully we won't run this service like we're all thumbs. We'll see.
No, nobody will thumb their noses at us.
Well, at least not right in front of us, just from the comfort of the room, wherever.
There you go.
What
There
else
you
can
go.
we do here?
I know. All right, so amazingly, once again, Mother Nature has decided that this building's not supposed to be open on Sunday. There you go. It's not nice to fool Mother Nature, as the old commercial. So I'm not about to try. Anyway, thank you for being able to be here. Thank you guys for being here at the drop of a hat. We're getting too good at this. Yeah, but.
Would you like me to?
No. I need to do it because I've been everywhere, all over the place. You're still everywhere. Take a deep breath, all right? And in. And out. Thank you so much for this. What a blessing it is to be here more than 12 hours early to record for the pretty people we serve, a service that we pray meets some of their needs in this difficult time. We're blessed to have a new one with us in Erin, who's going to share about a passion for an amazing ministry of mercy that she's been leading for some time. And as always, may the words of our mouths and the meditation of our heart and the actions of our embodied selves go to great lengths to accomplish the mission set before us today. Amen.
Good to be with you all.
Please make sure Erin knows what to do and when to do. I'm behind the drum set, so I won't be able to do a second chord or give a kind of direction. And whenever you're ready, Anya, I think you can probably ring the bowl. Charles would have stolen today.
We're not using the screen today, so we are going to be employing, those, yes, eventually, but we're first going to start with our gray hymnals. Remember the gray hymnal?
The great hymnal!
Yay! Okay. Turn to number 188. Look at it, realize that you've memorized this decades ago, and then put it away because you know it by heart and it's very short. But if you want to read along and sing, you can. Come, whoever you are. Though you've broken your vows 1,000 times, though you've broken your vows 1,000 times, though you've broken your vows 1,000 times, though you've broken your vows 1,000 times.
Come, whoever you are, wanderer, worshiper, lover of the evening, ours is no caravan of despair. Come, let again come.
Broken your vows number 159. This is my song.
This is my song, O God of all the nations, a song of peace for lands afar and wide. This is my home, the country where my heart is. Here are my hopes, my dreams, my only shrine. But other hearts in other lands are beating with hopes and dreams as true and high as mine. My country stands up bluer than the ocean, and sunlight beams on clover leaf and pine. But other lands have sunlight too, and clover, and skies are everywhere as blue as mine. Oh, hear my song, thou God of all the nations, a song of peace for their land and for mine.
And now we turn to the sheets that I handed out earlier.
May peace, peace reign over us. Let it fill this place. May peace, peace reign over us till we're filled with grace. May it flow through the lands and rivers. May it bring peace. May peace, peace reign over us, covering all the earth.
And we did that so well, we're going to do it again.
Peace, peace reign over us, till we're filled with space. Peace, peace reign over us, till we're filled with grace. May it flow through the lands and the rivers. May it bring
Whoever you are, wherever you come from, whatever age, ability, history, identity, gender, or sexual orientation, you are welcome to bring your full self here. Here to this place, which is both a place and virtual, where we bring about a more just and loving world. Good morning, I am Reverend Anya Samler-Michael, Senior Co-Minister here, and it is a joy to serve this community. We're grateful to have Melinda Laughlin and Fiona Ostermeyer as hymn leaders, Rev Scott on drums, and Marcus Hauk, our Director of Music Ministries, on piano. If you haven't already, please put your phones in worship mode. Our service today invites us to discover who our people are. Who our people are. And now, Reverend Charles will be playing the role of board past president and sharing Dan Silver's remarks.
Hello, everyone. I'm here to share with you that at a recent board meeting, there was an icebreaker question, and the question was, how do you decide who to donate to and how much? And I am told that Sil Knudsen had an intriguing answer. She said, we are told that we should give until it hurts. Well, that may work. But what if we were to flip it on its head? What if we were to give until it really feels good? Oh, there you go. Well, my friends, this is your chance to feel great. Because pledging is your annual commitment towards our common expenses here. Our pledge period ends on March 15th. After that, a team will go over all of the expenses and all the sources of income, and then it comes to the board for approval as a budget. You should know that the spending and income are both looking to come in at around $700,000 for this next year. And according to Treasurer Chris Corbett's forecast, we have a good shot at breaking even for the first time in 7 years.
Woohoo!
But here's the thing. 65% of our income comes from pledges. That number is important, 65% of our income. So for next year, that is a target of $480,000. That is a slight increase, which is needed, particularly to keep up with fair wages and medical expenses for our beloved staff. Our pledge team, led by Matt Silverman, Nick Lewis, and Ed Sperber, have worked really hard to confirm our pledging membership list, and that list currently sits at 174 families. Now, how do you pledge? Well, you can go to Realm, and under donations in Realm, you can fill out the pledge cards, or you can fill out the pledge cards that are back in the narthex, or you can email your pledges to our reverends or to your pledge leaders. You can pay in so many useful ways, by credit card if you choose, or directly from your bank, and that allows for over 2% more of your contribution to come to the congregation, so that's always a smart move. You can also do stock or IRA distribution transfers directly, which many of you are using because it provides obvious tax benefits. Now here's the thing, if you don't enter anything into the system at all, and you have given this year, then your pledge will automatically roll over with a 3% increase. But in order to actually balance our budget, the pledge increase overall needs to come in at around 5%. So, if you think that you can give 5%, and if you really, really want to be happy beyond your wildest imagination and give until it feels good, then you go nuts and you fill out that form and let us know 5% will work for you, or 10%, or 15%, or whatever makes you feel good. There you go. So, our slogan this year says, all in together. Remember that your pledges are the largest lever that we have for continuing to grow, to be a vital place of community and in our larger community. So let's be all in together to be our best, and don't forget, you want to give until it feels really, really good. So if it doesn't feel good yet, you got to give more so you can get there. Thank you.
Rev Charles, that was a fantastic Dan Silver. I won't repeat that. We're recording this service on Saturday, February 21st. Due to a severe winter storm headed our way very soon, we will be closed on Sunday and Monday. All religious education classes are canceled except for coming of age. They are meeting on Zoom. If you're new to our congregation, welcome. We hope that you will fill out a connection card, which is available on our website or will be shared with you virtually on the chat. Now, since there are some folks here with us today, which is fantastic, thanks for coming in on a Saturday. We invite you to reach out to a few folks near you and offer them welcome and love. I'm not saying anything from Jill. Yeah.
Let us open our senses to take in the beauty. Let us open our minds to learn what is true. Let us open our hearts to love one another. To love one another. Let us open our senses to take in the beauty. Let us open our hearts to learn what is true. Let us open our hearts to love one another. To love one another.
Hello and good morning, good evening, whatever time of day you're seeing this or we're doing this. It's a pleasure beyond measure to be here. And thank you especially to the wonderful folks who were able to make it here so we don't feel so alone whilst we do this. Today's invocation comes from a training manual for ministers, a program called Whose Are We?, which explores duty, compassion, and a wider notion of care for one another. And this reading was composed by my colleague, the Reverend Victoria Safford. Douglas Steer, a Quaker teacher, says that ancient question, what am I, inevitably leads to a deeper question, whose am I? Because there's no identity outside of relationship. You can't be a person just by yourself. To ask, whose am I, is to extend the questions far beyond the little self-absorbed individual and wonder, who needs me? Who loves me? To whom am I accountable? To whom must I answer? Whose life is altered by my choices? With whose life, whose lives are your own lives all bound up inextricably in obvious or invisible ways?
Let's take a moment to thank Susie Roman Luna for creating this month's beautiful chancel display. And let's celebrate those who make today's service possible, our tech team, our teachers, our worship leaders. Thank you. For the month of February, we have been sharing our riches with pockets of light. And today we have a very special guest, Erin Truxillo from Pockets of Light. She's here to share a bit more about this organization that is very dear to her family and to so many more.
Hi, thank you for having me today. I am one of the co-founders and the executive director of Pockets of Light. We are a Montclair nonprofit, and we offer support to parents who have lost a baby during pregnancy or shortly after birth. In 2008, my husband and I were living in North Carolina, and we lost our first child, Haley, to a rare pregnancy complication at 35 weeks. We were devastated, heartbroken, lost. The hopes and dreams that we had for our life we had planned for our daughter, it was gone in an instant. And the only place we could find comfort was in our weekly support group, where we were with other lost parents who understood what we were going through. The months went by, and the isolation we felt eased because of that support group. And the pain of losing her was and will be forever present, but we did learn how to live with our grief. Over the next few years, we were fortunate enough to bring home 2 healthy children, and we became more involved with the organization that had given back to us in those early days. After moving to New Jersey, I crossed paths with my two co-founders, Jen Brown and Denise Conte. In 2016, we started Pockets of Light with the intention of creating a community of compassion and support for grieving families like ours. Due to our wonderful volunteers like Jill and David Beckman-Gaines, and the generosity of our community, we've been able to extend and expand our program each year. Over the past 10 years, we've supported 700 individuals, we've provided bereavement training to hundreds of healthcare providers, and we've donated dozens of items to local hospitals. We feel honored to give hope and light to so many, and we feel honored to have you here, to be here with you today to share our story. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Erin. It's especially wonderful to have you here today, a service that asks the question, whose are we? To whom are we accountable? And you are showing your commitment, your accountability to people who have experienced something like you have experienced. You're sharing your love. Thank you. You can text UUCM plate and your amount to 73256 to give, mail us a check with plate in the memo, or simply place your gift in the offering basket. Hank, are there offering baskets? Hank, one of our regular greeters, is here with us today, and he's going to help out with the offering. Thank you, Hank. Community, please know that all your gifts are worthy and they are all received with love. Usher, please come forward. was beautiful, Marcus. Thank you. Here's a space in our service where we pause to offer our deep meditations, our reflections, our remembrances, so that we may hear one another, to heal one another. Victoria St. Ambrosio lights a candle for her dear, darling friend, Pamela Peer, who set sail out of here last Wednesday. The most creative, whimsical spirit, she carried a heavy burden, but always with grace. Google Dinosaur Hill toy store in New York City will witness how she gave joy throughout her life. Let us learn how we might best bring joy and safety to all the world's children, just like she did. Ed Specht lights this candle on the 1-year anniversary of the passing of his mother, Alice Louise Specht, at age 90. One of the most loving and caring people he knew, she inspired his interest in social justice and always maintained a positive outlook even after she had descended into the near oblivion of dementia. Not well served by our medical system, which was neglectful in her day-to-day care, despite the significant financial burden it placed on her resources. She remained loved by family and friends and is missed now and always. We light this candle for all of our neighbors the world round, honoring the month of Ramadan. And to all those celebrating, we say Ramadan Mubarak. We light this candle for all of our neighbors the world round, about to celebrate or celebrating already the Lunar New Year. Happy Lunar New Year. And we light this final candle for the joys and sorrows that are deeply felt but have not been spoken aloud. And I invite you to hold this silence as the silence holds us. Continue with me in this space for spoken prayer, meditation, reflection. In this time when rhetoric blusters and hate intimidates, in this time when words are used as weapons and weapons are used against our fellow citizens, we remember that we are a people of resilience, that we have faced uncertainty before, that we have been beaten and broken, that we have overcome obstacles, that we have made a way out of no way, that we have been afraid but have not turned back, that we have been angry and still turned toward one another in love. We remember that our ancestors are not only figments of some long dead past, but they are with us and within us and around us now. We remember the taste of peace, the blessing of forgiveness, the songs of righteous struggle. We revere the anger that compels courage the sorrow that cleanses our spirit, the love that binds us in communities of collaboration. And we promise to ourselves and our children and our children's children that we will not sleep through this revolution. Yes, we forgive ourselves for our frailty. We forgive ourselves for all the things we did not or cannot do. And we do the one thing we can. Now and again and again. May it be so, and amen.
From you I receive, to you I give. Together we share, and from this we live. From you I receive, to you I give. Together we share, and from you I give. Together we share, and from this we live. To you I receive, to you I give. Together we share, and from this I give. Together we share, and from this we give. Together we share, and from this we live.
That was quite beautiful. So you're probably tired of seeing me by this point. Rev Charles, do you want to pretend you're me this time and do the reading? No? Okay. All right. An oft-told parable from the Christian scriptures is the parable of the Good Samaritan. Found in the Gospel of Luke, chapter 10, Jesus clarifies in this story just who is our neighbor. Here, Jesus and the apostles are on the long road to Jerusalem, having already gathered them in Galilee. As they journey towards Jerusalem, they perform miracles, gather more followers, or so the story goes. And Jesus responds to pesky questions from detractors. An expert in the law stood up to test Jesus. "Teacher," he said, "what must I do to inherit eternal life?" Jesus said to him, "What is written in the law? What do you read there?" He answered, "You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your strength and with all your mind, and your neighbor as yourself." And Jesus said to him, "You have given the right answer. Do this, and you will live." But wanting to vindicate himself, he asked Jesus, "And who is my neighbor?" Jesus replied, a man who was going down from Jerusalem to Jericho and fell into the hands of robbers, who stripped him, beat him, and took off, leaving him half dead. Now by chance, a priest was going down that same road, and when he saw him, this man, he passed him on the other side of the road. And then likewise, a guardian of the temple, when he came to the same place and saw this man, he passed him on the other side. But a Samaritan, while traveling, came upon him, and when he saw him, he was moved with compassion. He went to this man, and he bandaged his wounds, treating them with oil and wine. Then he put him on his own animal and brought him to an inn and took care of him. And the next day he took out 2 denarii, gave them to the innkeeper, and said, "Take care of him. And when I come back, I will repay you whatever you spend." Then Jesus said, which of these 3 do you think was a neighbor to the man who fell into the hands of robbers?" And he said, "The one who showed him mercy." So Jesus said to him, "Go and do likewise."
Trust the movement, I negate the chaos, uplift the negative. I show up at the table again and again and again. I'll close my mouth and learn to listen. Whoa, 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 whoa. Through backyards, wolves howling out front. Yeah, I got my crew, but truth is what I want. Realigned and on point, power to the peaceful, prayers to the waters, women at the center, all vessels open to give and receive. Let's see the system brought down to its knees. Whoa, 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 taught me that I'm a speck of dust and this world was made for me, so let's go and try our luck, yeah. I got my roots down, 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 down deep. I got my roots down, 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 down deep. So what are we doing here? What has been done? What are you gonna do about it when the world comes undone? My voice feels tiny, and I'm sure so does yours. Put us all together, make a mighty I am resilient, I trust the movement, I negate the chaos, uplift the negative. I'll show up at the table again and again and again. I'll close my mouth and learn to listen.
Thank you. I'm made of thunder, I'm made of lightning, made of dirt, yeah. I'll show up at the table again and again and again. Resilient. Thanks for that Rising Appalachia song. Anya and I were able to see them at a Floyd Fest in Floyd, Virginia, about 15 years ago now, and they were just magical. Resilient. To be resilient, it helps to know who we are. To be resilient, we need healthy relationships. To be resilient, we must know our mission. To be resilient, we must play our part and not try to play every part. To be resilient, we must risk loving one more time. To be resilient, we must know who our people are. Now, the question of who are my people can become complex. It's a question fraught with danger because we may exclude those we need or those who need us. We may build a wall instead of a doorway. Who are my people is a question central, however, to resilience, to have the strength and partners to prevail in our struggle. This is why our invocation reminds us that the question of what am I soon becomes whose am I? With whose lives are our own all bound up. Resilience relies on us knowing our people and our duty. And this includes a natural tension between how we classify the individuals we know, our partners, families, friends, and the members of the larger human family. We have genuine needs to know who our people are, those upon whom we can rely, our true allies in life, love, and in the struggle. And we are also taught, yes, to love our neighbor. And the neighbor could be a stranger, a newcomer, an immigrant, those who pray, speak, look differently. So we too must remind ourselves of the definition of neighbor. So this paradox between knowing who our people are and loving the neighbor is best answered as a both and. It's a moral and intellectual tension to wrestle with daily. And invited into this higher love, a moral resolve to remember that even when we must circle the wagons with our cohort, we find that all people everywhere remain part of the human family. A rich universalism reminding us we are all siblings, part of one race, the human race, whether ally, neighbor, coworker, friend, foe, stranger. Such moral reasoning only operates properly when we court complexity and expand our consciousness. So this brings us to today's reading from Luke's Gospel, the parable of the Good Samaritan. And unpacking this parable is more complex than it seems on the surface. We'll begin unpacking it with a little bit of geography. In the 9th century before the Common Era, ancient Israelites were split into two different kingdoms, Judah in the south and Israel in the north. Jerusalem lies in Judah, the southern kingdom. And at first, these two kingdoms had religions that were quite similar, but that changed over time, as religions do. Judah centered its holiness in Jerusalem at David's temple, and the northern kingdom rejected that focus. A Samaritan is someone from Samaria. That's the capital of the northern kingdom. And Samaria lies in a mountainous region between Judah and the Galilee, near present-day Nablus in the West Bank. In the Christian scriptures, Jesus' ministry begins near that Sea of Galilee in the north, in towns like Nazareth and Capernaum. And Jesus' home in the north was considered the country. Its people simple, maybe bumpkins, or better, salt of the earth. We know this because in the Bible, people in Jerusalem make fun of the Nazarenes, because the Nazarenes are easily identified by their accents, by the way they speak, the way too many today are prejudged by their language or their accent. The parable of the Good Samaritan comes in the story when Jesus and the 12 apostles have begun their long journey from Galilee to Jerusalem, a journey that takes up to 10 chapters in Luke, beginning in chapter 9. And Jesus, before chapter 9, has already called and trained the apostles, and in chapter 9 is when they start to spread his message, performing exorcisms, healing the sick, doing all these wondrous things that is attributed to Jesus and the apostles. And during this journey, Jesus has many visions of his death. He learns his destiny lies in Jerusalem, and he becomes fixated on getting there. So about a page before the Good Samaritan in the Christian scriptures, we hear the story of a Samaritan village. And this Samaritan village refuses to receive Jesus, denying hospitality to him and the apostles. It was dangerous and unusual to refuse hospitality in antiquity. There were no hotels, like with no maids, no ice machines, no private restrooms or wake-up calls, no rest stops or convenience stores, no Twinkies, moon pies, Slim Jims. This is making me hungry talking about all this food. The inns mentioned in this passage were rudimentary, sometimes known as khans, K-H-A-N-S, khans, a walled structure featuring an open courtyard. Few and far between, these inns offered basic shelter rather than comfort, featuring dusty, straw-covered areas for livestock, and not far from them, crowded, open sleeping areas for people. Amid a desert landscape, to refuse someone food, water, and shelter might just be to condemn them to death. Hence, this culture's deep ethic of radical hospitality. Now, according to Luke, when James and John see the Samaritan town denying Jesus' hospitality, they ask him, "Lord, do you want us to command fire to come down from the heaven and consume them?" But as he often does, Jesus looks at them a little perplexed and shrugs, emphasizing, we got to get to Jerusalem. So they trundle along behind him toward the next town along the way. So here, right before this parable, a Samaritan is being held up as a role model of mercy just after a Samaritan town refused to offer any hospitality to Jesus himself. Such are the contrasts of the gospel displaying the grace and forgiveness the Bible hopes to inspire. So now let's get to the parable. Jesus reminds them to love thy neighbor as thyself. And a detractor asked Jesus to define who's my neighbor, smart guy. So Jesus, instead of giving a straight answer, as Jesus often does, he tells a story about a man robbed, beaten, and left for dead. And first, a priest walks by, sees the man, and just keeps walking, offering no help or even inquiring if the man is alive. Then a Levite, a temple guardian, ignores the beaten man as well. The priest and the temple guardian, these are positions of high rank and respect in Judah. Role models, authority figures. And what did they do? Kept going. But the Samaritan allows himself to be moved by mercy and driven to duty. The Samaritan not only stops, but he goes out of his way to offer care in hopes of restoring him to health and well-being. Let's consider the details of what he does. The Samaritan bandaged his wounds, treating them with oil and wine. Oil and wine were not cheap in antiquity. Then he put him on his own animal, brought him to an inn, and took care of him. Radical hospitality, and from a Samaritan. The next day he took out 2 denarii, gave them to the innkeeper, and said, "Take care of him, and when I come back, I will repay you whatever else was spent." 1 denarii was standard wage for a day of labor. The man gives 2 and offers more. The Samaritan provides health care, transportation, respite, protection, financial relief, and a promise to come back to make sure he's okay. All the things people everywhere need to live in every age. And he gives them to a stranger who may not survive the ordeal. And then this is when Jesus turns to the detractor, the supposed expert in the religious law, to remind him this is how we are to treat our neighbors, so go and do likewise. The Good Samaritan breaks the tribal code, assists the beaten, robbed, and dying one in need. The man he aids is from Judah, not Samaria. These actions happen in Judah. And the audience that Jesus is speaking to are people from Judah. They despised Samaritans. They thought they were not as righteous or deserving or even unclean, for goodness sake. And Jesus uses their prejudice to provoke a new, complex moral understanding. Even though some Samaritans had just denied him hospitality, Jesus resists engaging in prejudice himself, presenting a Samaritan as a role model of mercy, duty, and sacrifice. Simple as it sounds, this is no child's tale. This is a radical universalist message. It is a crowbar prying open the doors of thinking and compassion that too many lock shut. The parable of the Good Samaritan invites us to be open to such radical, even intimate encounters with strangers. It shows us we can find examples of goodness outside our religion, outside our village, outside our tribe. This universalist message is not the only one in the Gospels. Everyone, everywhere, always deserves dignity, care, and protection, not only because it's their right, but maybe because making friends instead of enemies might make the world a better place. And beloveds, despite all this, we still need to know who are our people, yes? In the time of trial, when we need resilience while confronting forces of greed, destruction, and ruin, we need to know who our people are. We need to identify the allies upon whom we can trust, with whom we fight, protect, and establish truth and justice, to know who deserves our active, compassionate attention right now. We will know our people by their fruits. And their fruits are such. They will be loving. They will be honest. They will be duty-bound. They will be strong. They will be open. They will be reliable. Indeed, we know many good Samaritans. In fact, there are some right now in Fletcher feeding the hungry with mesh. There are those from here who care for the children of immigrants locked in Delaney Hall. And there are those around the country standing up to forces like ICE in all the myriad ways that they do. There are many good Samaritans in our world. These lessons of the Good Samaritan are somewhat complex, and they do not, however, invite us to abandon our judgment. I want to make that clear. We can and should set boundaries, never compromise our personal safety, nor permit criminality or deceit. We can and should gather these worthy allies to fight beside us, and we can and should love the stranger, and yet we ask in every moment, how can we see the holy in everyone who crosses our path? Even when we cannot remain in their presence for some good reason, like violence or trauma or disease or whatever. How can we see the holy in them? We each answer this question for ourselves, but the real danger comes in pretending we have not been asked that question. When we allow convenience, fear, or some other foolishness to make the decision for us. In Tribalism in the 21st Century, Andrew Sweeney shares this. We should not pretend to care when we don't, or whip ourselves into frenzies of false compassion. This removes us from the intimacy of actual care, which is where the joy and the gift and the magic really happen. We are called to something real, necessary, an embodied encounter with others upon whose service we must rely, and those who might rely upon us. Universal love cannot be legislated. It must be formed and proclaimed in every heart in each one's own way, connecting with people in real encounters of grace and meaning. So together, when we try and understand these old stories, we seek a tricky balance to employ a complexity of thinking in our lifelong campaign of understanding and compassion, because such complexity also makes us more resilient. To move towards beloved community, our moral imagination and courage must be activated regularly. Resilience asks us to recognize that everyone, everywhere, always deserves love, care, and protection. And we are called to live in this tension between the call to know who are my people and that call to proclaim the larger human family as one, with each member of that family possessing inherent worth and dignity. This universalist notion of humankind is best thought of as grounded in transcendence. Its quality is akin to the divine, as sung about throughout the ages. So, beloveds, let us toil together and show up at the table again and again and again to embody being a good Samaritan as best we can, with courage, high resolve, and wisdom. So may it be.
Our closing hymn is in the turquoise hymnal, number 1021. Maybe you know it by heart anyway.
Before you benedict, I just want to celebrate the kick line that we had here. No, Sue, that was you and Deborah. That was a beautiful lean on me.
Oh, stay right there. Don't go anywhere. All right. Repeat after me. I'm made of thunder.
I'm made of thunder.
Made of lightning.
I'm made of lightning.
Made of dirt.
I'm made of dirt.
I'll show up at the table.
I'll show up at the table.
Again and again and again.
Again and again and again.
Resilient.
Resilient.
To be resilient, we must know who are our people. But the question of who are our people is complex. To be resilient, we need reliable allies. We must know our mission. We must play our part. And we must risk loving one more time by embodying universal love.
I invite you now to share our chalice extinguishing. We're going to do this responsively because we don't have the screen down today. So repeat after me. Our worship has ended.
Our worship has ended.
Let our service begin.
Let our service begin.
Go in peace.
Go in peace.
Go in joy.
Go in joy.
Go in love.
Go in love.
And go with a kick line.
Usher in.